Perfect. So welcome back. We're going to get started on today's practice on our backs. So let's place the strap towards the back of our mat so that we don't need to get up and get it when we need it. And if you'd like to play music, I'm going to start mine now. We'll begin the flow lying down on our back with a moment of stillness first. So as you settle on your back, see if you need just a little bit of an adjustment, maybe rocking side to side, just noticing how your lower back feels, how your spine feels. And then decide whether you are staying with your knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor, or if you prefer your legs extended all the way to the front of your mat. And we'll start the class with a moment of stillness before we get into the dynamic part of our practice. So let your eyes now close, the body arriving to stillness. And before we do anything else, take a nice and long inhale in through the nostrils. And let go out of the mouth. And again, inhaling. Let it go, exhaling. One last time, in through the nostrils. Out of the mouth. Now close the mouth and take 3 more breaths, just in through the nose and out of the nose, nice and easy, without much effort. Just simply making the breaths slightly longer than usual. Which tends to anyway naturally happen when we pay attention to how we're breathing. Most of the times as we bring the attention to our breath, we notice it change, regardless of whether we want it to change or not. So that lengthening of the inhale and the exhale can just happen naturally most of the times. And then from here, let your eyes open, hug your knees into the chest and gently rock side to side. Notice how your back feels as you rock from right to left. And then keep your right knee into the chest, release the left leg to the floor. And notice how, as you extend your left leg, how it feels. Front of your left hip getting just a subtle stretch maybe. If it feels like it's not comfortable for you, you might want to bend your left knee and bring the sole of the left foot on the ground instead. But if you're all good here, now reach for the strap and strap the sole of your right foot. We won't stay too long, but in preparation for our work on our hips, let's get a little bit of space on the back of our hips, back of our legs. So you're pulling the leg in towards you, and you're completely in control. You can choose how much you want to bring the leg close to you. And if things are tight for you, you might want to be quite further away from the face, away from the chest, and maybe even have a little bend into your knee. So notice how and where you want to be. Ideally, you're feeling sensations at the back of your right leg, right hamstrings, and maybe a little bit further down the leg as well. So let's breathe in nice and long through the nostrils. And breathe out completely. And 2 more times. Breathing in through the nose. Breathing out, the muscles start to soften a little bit into the stretch. 1 more inhale. Exhale completely. And then hold on to the strap just with your right hand. Take your left hand on top of your left side hip. Keep the left hip grounded as you open the right leg out to the right. So now we're moving into the inner leg muscles, or the internal part of your right hip. Notice how the muscles of your inner leg react to this pose. Notice where you feel sensations and the degree of intensity of the sensations that you're feeling. And then breathe into the sensations. Let's take 3, 2. Inhale for 1. And bring it all the way back to center. Switch hands. Take the leg across the body and over to the left. So now we are accessing the outside of our hip as well as the outside of our right leg. You can relax both shoulders into the mat. Face and neck are soft. And we're trying to keep the back of our pelvis close to the floor. So sometimes we do this pose where we completely lift the right hip and we lift the right buttocks and we go all the way across and take the right foot all the way down, maybe even to the floor. But not for today. Just keep it so that the back of your sacrum is still on the ground. And you're just going a little bit across and over to the left. And most likely that's already enough to feel sensations. We'll give it one last inhale. And then back to center. Good. Now bend your right knee. Let go of the strap. And we'll take the same shape, the same 3 poses. We'll do the same 3 poses, but in a different way. This time it's all about that strength and that stability around your hip, and not so much about the stretch that we've worked on with the previous version of the pose. So re-extend your right leg up towards the ceiling, relax the arms down, shoulders soft, but now the hip flexors are beginning to kick in, so that we're not just working onto the flexibility of our hips, but we're also creating strength and power around our hips. So we want 2 things, strength and flexibility, to be both part of our practice, so that we don't just overdo one thing, but we maintain that balance. And that eventually is what allows us to move well. So now start to open your right leg a little bit out to the right, but maintain the back of the pelvis on the ground. So both legs are active. Your right heel is pressed into the ground. Your left heel is pressed into the ground. Your right heel reaches away from the right hip. And we'll give it just one last breath. And then come back to center. Take the right leg across and over to the left. And again, keep it active. You don't need to go very far at all. Hold it there, both feet engaged. One last inhalation. And then all the way back to center. Bend your right knee, bring it into the chest. And before we work on the second side, now bend your left knee. Bring the sole of the left foot on the ground and the right ankle on top of the left thigh. Now your right foot is flexed and active, and we're bringing both legs in towards you. So let's start this figure 4 position first using our hands. So left hand to the back of your left thigh, pulling in, and right hand presses the right knee away from the chest. Just slightly, you don't need to overdo it. You're holding and breathing. So that now we're accessing a little bit more our glutes. And that is the back of our hips. Now hold it here, just one last inhalation. Complete exhalation. And then wrap your left forearm, your left elbow around your right foot. You might need to lift the head and shoulders to do that. You're cradling the shin. The right foot presses into the left arm, and then maintain the right knee, right shin close to the body as you now straighten the left leg and bring it forwards towards the front of your mat. Keep your left heel hovering off the floor. And then from there, bring it back to center. Your left thigh touches the right foot, hold it there, and then keep your right foot, right shin where they are, but take your left leg away. Hover, don't let the heel touch down, and then come back to center. Now, you're going to undo your arms and release them on the floor. We'll do this 2 more times, but actively. So keep your right leg in that same position. You're trying not to move it at all. It's going to take a lot of power around your hips and a lot of control. So do your best to keep your right leg exactly as it is and take your left leg away. As you take your left leg away, you're moving slowly. You're controlling both legs actively. And again, your left heel is not on the ground, it's just floating. and then come back to center. Left thigh touches the right ankle. Hold it there. Prepare as much control as you can. Right leg stays as it is. Left leg goes away and hovers. Hold it there. Strong through your hips, but also now beginning to build that strength into your abdomen as well. Now from here, come back to center. Touch your right ankle and release. Left foot down, right foot down. Take a moment, keep your knees bent, but feel all the sensations that you feel into your right hip. So there is a lot going on there. You might feel a big difference between right side and left side. And that's all the work we've done so far, which obviously we're now doing on the second side. So hug your left knee into the chest and start to straighten the right leg to the floor. Now as you do that, notice if the front of your hips are happy to do that, or if you would prefer to have your right knee bent. That can also feel nicer in your back sometimes, so see where you want to be, but then strap the sole of your strap the sole of your left foot, and then straighten the left leg up towards the ceiling. Pull the left leg in, just as much or as little as it works for you. Notice the sensations at the back of your left hip and thigh. Staying for another couple of breaths. And then from here again, hold on to the strap just with your left hand. Open the left leg a little bit out to the left, keeping the right side of the pelvis grounded. So you can use the right hand places on the right side of the pelvis and just encourage it to stay down. Right, left inner leg, left adductors beginning to find a little bit more length, a little bit more space. For one more inhalation, and then bring it back to center. Take the strap into your other hand and go across the body. Remember, we're trying for today to keep the back of the pelvis on the ground, sacrum on the floor as the left leg goes across the body. And we're accessing that space on the outside of the hip and leg. One more nice and long inhalation. Complete exhalation. Bring the leg all the way back to center. And then from here, rebend your left knee. Let go of the strap. Now, like we did earlier, active versions of the poses. So left leg straight up to the ceiling. Hold it there. Your shoulders are down on the floor. They're relaxed. Your neck and face are relaxed. Now from here, open the left leg a little bit out to the left. Don't worry about how far you go. Just think about how much can you control the movement. So that both legs are active and the back of your pelvis is still on the ground. You're kind of even between your right side and your left side pelvis. Hold it there, one last breath. And then come back through center and then across the body over to the right. Hold it there, both feet engaged. Now start to make your way back to center. Rebend your left knee into the chest. Now bend your right knee, sole of the right foot on the ground, ankle to knee pose. So start by bringing your legs in. Right hand goes to the back of your right thigh. Left hand presses the left knee away from your chest and we hold. Now we'll maintain the same shape of the legs, but we'll actually go with the right arm, right elbow crease, hooks around the left foot, and then the two hands catch. You're cradling the left shin, take your right leg away, straighten it and hover it just above the ground. And then come back to center. You know that we'll do it one more time like this, and then later you'll actually have to do it where you really control the movement of your left shin. So try and bring that attention to the position of your left leg as you take your right leg away, and know that in a moment you will not have the arms to help you. You'll actually do it with the strength and power around your hips. So release the arms down. Really focus on your left hip staying still, maintaining that shape as you take your right leg away and hover it. So working this active range of movement. Let's come back in. Right thigh touches the left ankle. Hold it. And then really focus. Left hip stays the same as much as you can. Right leg moves away. Slow, controlled movement. And then come all the way back in. And release. Release both feet on the floor. Take a moment to notice the sensations now on the left side of your hips. Beautiful. So from here, we'll do one more pose on each side. Bring your right knee in towards your chest and then go wider than your chest. So point the knee down towards your right armpit. Now catch the sole of your right foot. You're into a half happy baby. You can stay here with the left knee bent, or you can straighten it if that works for you. So if you straighten the left knee, you're going to work a little bit more into lengthening the front of your left hip. So half happy baby, sole of the right foot faces the ceiling. The hand for now is pulling the knee down towards the armpit. So just like we did with the previous poses, we'll work this actively as well in a second. So for now, hold it here and notice how your hand is helping the leg stay in that position. But we don't just want to be flexible when there is another part of the body helping us or a strap helping us. We also want to have that mobility, that range of movement available to us in an active way. So we're going to try and keep the right leg as it is as we let go of the right arm and have both arms on the floor. So really feel the difference now. You don't have the hand to help you, but you're just really working actively through the hip flexors to really bring the right knee down towards the armpit while you maintain that half happy baby pose. Take another breath in and then release it. Extend your right leg to the floor. You'll probably feel some warmth around the front of your right hip. Those are your hip flexors kicking in and doing the job. So let's work on the second side. Left knee in, left knee wider than your torso, sole of the foot faces the ceiling, we catch the foot. So assisted for now by the arm. So the hand pulls down and you're into this happy baby where your leg doesn't really have to do that much, but it's more like the arm that's helping you to stay in the shape. Remember the option, if you want to bend your right knee and bring the sole of your right foot on the floor if that's better for you. One more breath here. And then from here, you know what you're doing. You're trying to keep that left leg exactly as it is without moving it. You take your left arm away, both arms on the floor. Now feel how there is so much more work. Your left hip having to work to control the movement. Hold it there, breathe through the sensations. Just one more breath. And then again, as you release, take your left foot on the floor, left leg extended. Notice the sensations at the front of your left hip. Let it go. Take another 2 breaths. Good, and now we continue our work onto our hips, but we'll go up into a seated position. So take your knees in, hands behind your knees, rock up and down a couple of times. And with your next one, rock all the way up into a seated position. So we'll cross the shins, right shin in front of the left shin. Take the feet underneath your knees. So Rather than being into a simple cross-legged position, your feet go a little bit more out and away from center. If you look down, you have a triangular shape between your thighs and your calf muscles. So we're going to first have the fingertips on the floor, lift and lengthen the spine. And then see if this already gives you enough sensations on the outside of your hips. If not, you're going to walk your fingertips forwards and see how it goes as you stay here. And then if this is still bearable and you actually want to go a little bit deeper into it, start to walk your fingers or palms for even further forwards. Maybe you want to even bring your forearms down. And then if you are here, if you are folding forwards, let the head relax down for a moment. Let it go, maybe even doing a little bit of movement through your neck if that feels good. Just one last inhale, feel your hips. Just gently lift yourself back up. Uncross your legs, recross them so that the other shin is in front. And again, take your feet, rather than into a simple cross-legged position, take your feet further out to the opposite sides. As you look down, you see that triangular shape, and then maybe first we stay for a couple of breaths upright, or if you feel that you actually just want to go for it, then bring your fingertips down, maybe your forearms down. Nice, and then from here, gently lift yourself all the way back up. Good, so I'm going to turn around so that I can see you. Well, you can see me better. And we'll keep the right heel in towards your pubic bone and catch with the index finger, middle finger, and thumb. You'll make a loop around your big toe. And then from there, lift your right foot, lift your left foot, keep your spine nice and tall, and then bringing the foot in towards your chest. You can help it with the other hand as well, bringing the foot in a little bit closer in towards you. Then from here, you're going to inhale, straighten the leg as straight as it wants to be. Even if it's a little bit bent, it's fine. But this time, you're going to bring the foot up towards your forehead. On the inhale, leg towards straight. On the exhale, back in towards your chest. Let's do it one more time. Inhale. And up to the forehead. Exhale. This time, inhale. To your right ear. Exhale. Inhale. To your left ear. Exhale. One more time on each side. Inhale. Right ear. Inhale. Left ear. Inhale back to center. And exhale to your chest. And then from here, release it down. Switch sides. Bring your left heel in towards your pubic bone. Index finger, middle finger, and thumb around your big toe. And then again, we're going to do our first one where we pull the foot in towards us, using the other hand as well to help. Then on the inhale, leg goes towards straight. On the exhale, up towards your forehead. Inhale, leg towards straight. Try and keep your spine nice and long. Exhale, foot towards your chest. And again, inhale. Now, it's not the forehead that goes to the foot. It's the foot that moves up towards the forehead. Inhale, leg towards straight. To the left ear, exhale. Inhale. To the right ear, exhale. One more on each side. Inhale. Left side. Inhale. Right side. Inhale forward. And then back into your chest. And from here, release. So from where you are, transition forwards onto your hands and onto your knees. And we'll continue working on our hips here. We're going to press the hands into the floor. Keep the left knee on the floor, but lift your right knee in towards your chest. And then as you actively push down through the hands, you're going to lift the belly button in and circle your right knee, keeping the knee bent. Circle it out to the side, back behind you, as if your kneecap was a pencil and you were drawing a circle. And then brush your other leg, point it down to the floor, bring it back to the chest. We'll do it 2 more times. Out to the side. Make it slow and controlled, back behind you. This is one where it's easier if you rush it, but it's actually a lot harder if you move slowly. So 1 more in this direction. Make it a big circle. Next time your knee is into the chest, you're going to switch direction. Push down with the hands. Circle. Your knee goes back first. Your knee stays bent. Your hip opens out to the side. Big, big circle. Circle it back in towards your chest. And again for 2. Last one in. And last one, knee to the floor. Reset. Same work, second side. Lift your left knee into the chest. Push down with the hands. Circle the knee out to the side. Keep the knee bent and then circle it back. Point it down and back into the chest. And we'll go again for 2. Also now activating your glutes for 1. Next time the knee is into the chest, hold it there. Make sure you're still pushing into the floor. Switch direction. As you finish your last one here, reset back into your tabletop position. And from tabletop, lift all the way up into downward facing dog. Now in your downward facing dog, push down actively with your hands. Lift up through the hips, lift up through the sitting bones and lengthen your spine. So we spent quite a bit of time lengthening the back of our legs and opening up our hips. But if you feel that you benefit from having a bend into your knees and that allows you to lengthen your spine more, then do that, bend your knees. If you don't, then legs straight. Hold your downward dog, lengthen the spine as much as you can. Take 2 more breaths. Lovely, and then from here, walk your hands all the way back to the feet. Standing forward fold, Uttanasana. Relax your head and neck. Lift and lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale and fold, Uttanasana. On the inhale, lift to standing, reach up, look up. On the exhale, Tadasana. From here, turn your toes out, your heels in. We'll move through some half sun salutations with Malasana, Yogi squat. Inhale, the arms reach up. Exhale, bend the knees, squat all the way down. Stay in Malasana, take a breath in. Exhale, fingertips to the ground, feet parallel, fold forwards. Lift into Ardha Uttanasana, hands to the shins. Project your chest forwards, lengthen the spine. Exhale and refold. On the inhale, lift to standing, reach up, look up. On the exhale, the hands together in prayer. Turn the toes out, heels in. Inhale, the arms lift to the sky. Exhale, bend the knees, come down slowly. Stay as you arrive. Inhale, open your chest. Fingertips to the ground, feet parallel. Exhale. Lift and lengthen, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, up to standing, reach up, look up. Exhale, Tadasana. 1 more like this, toes out. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, squat down. Stay, inhale. Fingertips down, feet parallel. Exhale. Lift the chest and lengthen. Exhale and fold. Inhale up to standing, reach up, look up. Exhale, mountain pose. This time from here, we'll build up, so start the same way, toes out, inhale, arms up. Exhale, squat down, Malasana. Stay Malasana, inhale. And then walk forwards into downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Stay into downward dog, inhale. Exhale completely. On your next inhale, lift your right leg up, three-leg downward facing dog. Your right toes are pointing towards the floor, but your right hamstrings are lifting to the sky. Right side glutes working, and both hands pushing the floor away. Take another breath in. And then look forward, lightly step your right foot between the two hands. Drop the back knee down, lift into a low lunge. Squeeze your left side glutes as you lift. And then stay into your low lunge, but take your left hand to the right knee, the other hand behind you into a twist. Now lift and lengthen the spine. If you were to look at yourself, your head would be right on top of your pelvis. So don't let your pelvis sink down, but rather think of lengthening the tailbone down and lifting the lower belly, lifting the front of your left hip flexors. Hold your twist, inhale. Hold it there, exhale. And twist, come back to center, arms up. Hands to the floor, step it back, downward facing dog. Hold your downward dog, one inhale, one exhale. Before we do the second side, inhale forwards for plank. Exhale, knees down, lower all the way with control. Open up your chest, inhale, cobra. Downward facing dog, exhale. Lift the left leg up, inhale, three-leg down dog. Hold it there. Feel left side hamstrings really lifting, left side glutes engaged. Hold it, one last breath. And then step your left foot forwards, back knee down, low lunge. Arms lift, right side glutes squeeze. And then take your right hand to the left knee, left hand behind you into a twist. So notice your left foot really actively pressing into the floor, your left big toe pressing down, the little toes, and the left heel grounding. From here, exhale and twist. Reach the arms up, inhale. Downward facing dog, exhale. Stay in your downward dog, one inhale, one exhale. Forwards into plank, inhale. Knees down or straight chaturanga. Cobra or upward facing, inhale. Downward facing, exhale. Hold it there, inhale. Exhale completely. On your next inhale, lift your right leg back up to the sky, but this time open up the hips and lift your right leg as high as it can go. So hips really open, your right toes are pointing out to the side, out to the right, and your right side glutes are squeezing and engaging. And then from there, bend your right knee and open up your hips maybe even more. Imagine you have a pencil at the back of your right knee and you're squeezing it. Take another breath in. And then lightly step your right foot forwards between the hands. Drop the back knee down. On the inhale, lift the arms up. On the exhale, left hand down, right arm up. Lift your back knee and twist. Open up the chest, lean back a little bit with your head and shoulders. Belly button stays away from the front thigh. And everything is long from the top of your head to the back heel. One last inhale. Exhale, release the hands down, step it back, downward facing dog. Breathe in, forwards, plank. Breathe out, your choice of vinyasa. We meet in downward facing dog. Drop the knees down if you need to when you lower, so that you are moving with control and precision. Inhale the left leg to the sky. Roll the left toes out to the left. Lift the foot as high as you can. Feel left side glutes kick in. Press with the hands actively down. Squeeze the left side glutes. And then bend the left knee. Open up the hips maybe a little bit more. Let your chest turn over to the left. One more breath. Now look between the hands. Step your left foot forwards. Drop the back knee down. Inhale the arms to the sky. Exhale, right hand down, left arm up. Your back knee lifts and twist. A full inhale. A complete exhale. Release the left hand down, step it back, downward facing dog. A full inhale here. A complete exhale. Inhale, forwards, plank. Exhale, your vinyasa. As we meet in downward facing dog, we'll stay for a breath in. A complete breath out. On the next inhale, lift your right leg up. Keep your right toes pointing down for now. And then look forwards. Bring your right knee towards your right armpit. Your shoulders on top of your wrists. And then lightly step the right foot to the outside of your right hand. You're into a lizard lunge. We're going to inhale, rock forwards. Exhale, rock back and lift the hips. Beginning to straighten the front knee. We look back towards the back foot. Inhale, bend the front knee. Chest forwards, lengthen. Exhale, hips lift, pyramid pose. 3 more times inhaling. The front leg doesn't have to fully straighten, it can stay a little bit bent. Or for anyone who has more space, they can maybe lift the toes and straighten the leg fully, keeping just the right heel on the ground. So when we come forward, the sole of the foot is planted, and when we go back, we decide what to do. Now rebend the front knee, stay, lizard pose. Press the hands into the floor actively. Step back, plank. Hold your plank, inhale. Chaturanga, exhale. Open up the chest, cobra or upward facing. Downward facing, exhale. Hold it there, a full inhalation. A complete exhalation. One more full inhalation. Complete exhalation. On your next inhale, left leg lifts. Left toes are pointing towards the ground. Shift forwards, bring your left knee towards your left arm, and then lightly step the left foot to the outside of your left hand. We can have the hands flat, the hands on blocks, or up on fingertips, you choose. Inhale, rock forward. Exhale as you rock back, pyramid pose, looking back. Inhale, bend the front knee. Exhale, front knee begins to straighten. With the breath for 3. Remember the option of lifting toes if you are flexible in your hamstrings in this position. Or keeping the foot planted if you prefer. And then rebend the front knee. Plant the hands firmly down. This time step it back, downward facing dog. Take an inhale for your downward dog. And as you exhale, drop the knees to the ground, child's pose. Just another breath in for your child's pose. And then press the hands down, press the feet down, come back into downward facing dog. Now from your downward facing dog, lift your right foot nice and high to the sky. Roll the hips open and feel those right side glutes engage as you lift the leg really, really high. And then from here, we'll transition into pigeon pose. So bring the right knee behind your right wrist, the foot behind the left wrist. Take the left leg back. And then from here, there are options. So if you feel that the front knee is uncomfortable, you don't want to do this pose, you want to maybe go back onto your back and do ankle to knee pose like we did at the start of the practice. But if you're okay in pigeon, option to stay upright. And if you stay upright, you're getting a little bit of a back bend in the spine, and you're also opening up a little bit more of the front of your left hip. Maybe this is where you want to spend a few breaths. Or if you prefer to come all the way down and you feel that this is actually what your body and mind need right now, then great, work with that. We'll stay for another 5 breaths from now, so you have time to do a little bit of both if you want, or just settle into one of the two and stay. sensations around your right hip. Outside and back of the hip can be quite intense if you are tight in that region. So that's okay, you just breathe through them. But if there are any painful sensations in the knee, that's not okay. So you don't want to be pushing through that pain if it happens. So again, if you need to, you roll onto your back and you take ankle to knee pose. Just one last breath into your pigeon pose. And then from here, lift yourself back up. Press the hands into the ground, tuck your back toes, lift the back knee, and transition back, downward facing dog. Take a moment, feel right side versus left side. On your next inhale, left leg up. Lift the left leg nice and high. Turn the toes out to the side, and then imagine you're kicking something back behind you. Your foot is active, your glutes are switched on. Lovely. And then from here, bring your right knee behind your right wrist. Sorry, your left knee behind your left wrist. Your foot behind your right wrist. And then again, choose if you are staying more into a back bend or if you are folding all the way down. Now, one more thing to consider in pigeon is that we want the kneecap of the back leg staying on the ground. So we don't want it to turn out to the side and the foot to go out like that. So kneecap pointing down. And you might notice that your body needs different things on one side or the other. So for me, for example, staying up here gives me so much sensations in my hip flexors and adductors that I think it's reasonable for me to actually stay up rather than fold forwards on this side. So you choose, you listen to your own sensations and you choose what works best. As we stay in the pose, often sensations start to mellow out. So if that happens and you actually change your mind and you want to change the position that you're in and look for something else, then great, do that. Maybe that is bringing the forearms down, or if you are down, maybe that's lifting up. We'll give it just the last couple of breaths. And then from here, we're going to press the hands into the floor. This time, lean over onto your left hip and take your right leg all the way around so that you are setting up for Janu Sirsasana. We're actually not going into the forward fold, but we're keeping the legs in Janu Sirsasana and lifting into a back bend. So the sole of your left foot is into the right inner thigh, your right leg is straight forward. And we're going to lift the left arm up, left hand behind you, press it down and lift the pelvis high. Right arm reaches back, opening up a little more the front of the hips while we engage the back of the hips to lift up high. Gently bring the hips all the way back down. Switch legs, switch sides. Breathing in, right arm up. Breathing out, right hand behind you, press down and lift up. And again, from here, gently release all the way down. So extend both legs forwards. And then from there, we're going to bend the knees and start by holding on to the back of your knees. And then we can work our way up towards our feet. But we're going to be balancing on our sitting bones. So lift your feet and then straighten the legs, but hold on to the back of your legs. You're going to walk your hands up towards your calf muscles, maybe to your heels or maybe to your feet. And then from here, you'll see how straight your legs can go, how long your spine can be, so that you're not into Navasana, but you're into this seated forward fold. with the legs lifting, where you are supporting the work of your legs with your arms. You're working on the flexibility of the back of your legs, the back of the body, on that balance and stability around your core that allows you to stay up in position. Remember, you could have the hands at the back of your calf muscles, for example. From here, we'll see if we can stay in balance on the sitting bones, and now open the legs out into a V shape. Really want to engage your core and lift up through the spine to stay up. Otherwise, what happens, and maybe it has happened already, is that you roll back. So do your best to send your chest forwards, engage through your center. Take another breath as you are, and then close the legs together, rebend the knees, and release the soles of the feet on the ground. We're going to roll onto our back, lift the knees into your chest, and then cross your right leg on top of your left leg. So you have your feet into the opposite sides, right foot to the left, left foot to the right. And then bring your knees, imagine that with the hands, you want to bring your knees apart, and then you can move the hands down low to the shin bones, maybe even down to the ankles or the feet, and pull them apart so that the right foot goes even more to the left foot goes even more to the right. So the knees are coming down and the feet are moving apart, so that we're back to targeting the outside of our hips. Okay, let's start to release. Uncross the legs, recross them so that the left leg is on top of the right. And then again, start with the knees. Maybe that's where you stay, or you walk your way down to the shins, ankles, or feet. This is reclined Gomukhasana cow face pose. Stay and breathe into the sensations for the last 5, 4, 3, 2, inhaling for 1, exhaling to release. Release both feet on the ground. Just notice the sensations around your hips. So we'll take one final pause before a relaxation. Soles of the feet together, knees out to the sides, Supta Baddha Konasana. And then with your arms, make the same shape as your legs. Your palms face up, your elbows are out to the sides, and your hands are overhead. If this is uncomfortable on your shoulders, feel free to bring your arms back down. But otherwise, see if you can stay. Bring the attention to the inner legs that are now getting a little bit of a stretch. And as they lengthen, the pelvic floor has more of a chance to now relax. Release any unnecessary tension. And the body starts to enter that phase of relaxation where we always end our practice. And then if you are really comfortable here and you want to stay longer, stay longer. Otherwise, bring your arms down alongside the body and extend the legs out to the front of your mat. We'll stay for another couple of minutes into relaxation. If you've changed position, settle and then be still. Let go of any need to do anything, to control anything. Just simply be. There is nothing else that we have to do. Now with a longer inhale, start to gently awaken the body. Exhale completely. And then bend the knees, bring the soles of the feet on the floor. See if you need a moment rocking side to side. And then roll over completely onto one side and pause there for a couple of breaths. Press the hands into the floor. Start to lift yourself up into a seated position. And as you arrive into your seated position, join the hands together in prayer. Just take a moment to observe and notice how you feel after this practice. Working on the hips sometimes brings up stuff. Sometimes it's during the practice, sometimes it's after the practice. So observe how you feel. And if things come up that you weren't expecting, just know that it might be linked to the movements that we've done and all of that time spent around the hips. And simply notice what comes up. Work through it if you need to. And know that it's all good. It's all part of the process. When we work through yoga postures, we don't just work on our physical level, but we work much more deeply on our emotional level and much more than that too. So whatever comes up is fine. Being to observe it, pay attention. And that's also another chance to get to know yourself better. To observing how your body and mind react to things, to maybe a different practice to your usual. So now on your next inhale, lift the prayer up to the sky. And as you exhale, bow down to the earth. Namaste. So thank you so much for being here today. If you have any questions or any comments, feel free to write to me in the chat and I will get back to you. So now, please make sure that you like the video, subscribe, and share it with friends. This is a practice that it's nice to come back to for creating more mobility around your hips. And that means that your hips are not just flexible, but they are also strong. And that's what we want to keep us moving well in life. So thank you so much. If you have any questions or any comments, please write to me. And remember that we have the link for donations down here. It's super helpful, super appreciated if you can leave a donation to support these classes. Now all my work is online, so I do these classes here on YouTube live, and then I also teach on Zoom. So if you'd like to join me on Zoom, then down here you have the website, and you can just find out when my classes are and join me from wherever you are watching. So thank you so much again, and namaste.